Hey guys, so I'm kind of nervous about making this video, to be honest. I've just been feeling like for the past couple days, like I've just been really like, I have this like inner voice or something that's like just telling me that I should make this video. And I'm the kind of person that always listens to whatever's going on like in my mind, and that's what this video is kind of about. I'm just gonna like go for it, and sorry about the lighting, sorry that it's nighttime and the background is not good and all this stuff, but like, you know, honestly I hope you guys like won't mind that stuff and just maybe listen to what I'm saying and like listen to my story, and maybe I can connect with you guys because you all have been through similar experiences or something. That would be really cool. So yeah, I just feel like you guys are my friends on this channel. Like I've been making videos for 4 years, and I just feel like, I don't know, YouTube is a community, and I watch videos like this all the time, and I really love hearing like other people's stories, and I just feel like it's a good way to like reach out to people and meet people, connect with people, and just like get to know people on a more personal level, because I know like all my videos are usually like happy and travel and like music and, you know, like all that happiness and stuff, and that's really what I do feel in my life. But of course, like, you know, I've never actually like opened up about like my personal life and stuff like that, and of course that's really important. So I just wanted to like open up and just get some stuff off my chest, because I just feel like if I do, and if I make this video, even if it's really super long, I just feel like it would help me to like get all this out and just release it and let it go and just like accept it and stuff. Like the title is like, you know, how I overcame anxiety, OCD, and low self-confidence, and those like things were pretty much emotions and things that I've had to deal with since I was a little kid. I mean, when I was really young, I was definitely like really shy as a little kid, and I would like definitely have anxiety, like just like I would have like all these thoughts, like even in class, like about raising my hand when the teacher asked a question, or raising my hand to like use the bathroom, or like asking for something, or like voicing my opinion and like telling people what I needed. I was always scared about that, and I had these weird thoughts, and I would get anxiety. I seriously remember that starting from like being 5 or 6 years old. So it's been with me my whole life. Okay, so I finally feel like in the past like 4 to maybe 8 or 9 months or something in my life is the first time that I've ever like fully felt that I've overcome OCD, anxiety, and low self-confidence. Like I just literally feel like this is the first time my whole entire life. That's why I feel comfortable and confident enough to share this kind of stuff, but it took me a long time to get to this point. Like I was a really happy kid. I lived a really amazing life and really good childhood. Everything was great. But then when I became like 16, my parents started, you know, having like some trouble at home, which is completely normal. You know, when people have been married a really long time and they get married really young, like, you know, they change, and like your interests change and you become a different person. So my parents were just like kind of growing apart, and then eventually they got divorced when I was like 16 or 17, around that time. And that's when like I really started getting like severe depression, because my life was like completely different. And like when I was like, you're still like, when you're that young, your mindset is like you're still a kid and you don't really understand everything in the adult world yet, because you're still not an adult yet. Like you're still developing and like forming your own opinions and stuff, and like, you know, up until then like adults were always the ones that were telling me what to do. So I finally had to like kind of become my own person and like just figure out who I actually was, because like my whole entire family life like completely just like in a way fell apart, I guess you could say. Like I know this is, I don't know, not the best, it's just not the like best situation to think about, but I just know that at that point in my life, when I was like 16 or 17, yeah, that's when I started getting really severe, like really bad depression, like just so bad, like, and such bad anxiety. Like I would just have thoughts like, why am I even here? Why am I still alive? Like, what's the point of my life? What is the purpose? Like I obviously had like a spiritual connection and everything, and you know, spirituality, but I was also kind of just like feeling a little bit on my own. Like I was just with friends and stuff, and they could understand and relate to me, but like in my own mind I just had so many thoughts and emotions, and I didn't know like what exactly was going on in my life or why things were happening the way they were, and it made me extremely depressed. And then at that point was when I got like my first serious boyfriend. And like this is okay, so this video, it's like very personal. And I kind of feel like this person would never actually watch this video, and you know, if he does, that's fine, like there's nothing I could do about it. So I'm just gonna make this anyways. And you know, if I talk about the situation and it offends anybody, I'm sorry, but like I'm at the point where I just like, I don't know, I just feel like I shouldn't care what other people think about me. I should just really feel confident and just worry about what I think about myself, because that's at the end of the day the most important thing. So yeah, at that age, like, you know, when all that divorce stuff was going on in my life when I was a kid or whatever, that's when I got my first serious boyfriend. And it was literally the same exact time. Like we met when I was 16. When I was 17, we started like actually dating, like as boyfriend and girlfriend, like a relationship. So 17, like that was my first real relationship. I didn't really know what love is or anything about relationships at that point. I was just a kid myself. So yeah, I got into that relationship at a time in my life where I was like kind of struggling with who I was and also like what love was, because after like seeing my parents get divorced and like, you know, knowing them our whole lives, like being a really happy family, we were all together, everyone loved each other, everything all seemed so happy and so good on the surface. And like to everyone else that was an outside observer, we did seem like a perfect family, like nothing was wrong and nothing was going on wrong behind closed doors, when that was definitely not the case at all. So like, I guess in a way, like that relationship, like I was starting to not believe in love or like true love or soulmates or any of that kind of stuff at that point in my life. So then once I met that boyfriend and, you know, all that stuff, like I kind of like, I felt like, oh, maybe that's what love really is. Maybe this is real love and true love. And maybe at the time in my life it actually was. But of course, like, as I said, people change, people grow, things change, and your life progresses. And, you know, like you really, in the moment, you don't realize it. Like you feel like this is just like everything. Like this person is so important, means so much to you. And like he really understood my struggles and like got me. And like he had a lot of depression and anxiety and OCD, like crazy, way more than I did. So maybe in a way it was like a twin flame relationship. Like we were kind of like reflecting off of each other, and like what he was feeling and going through on his level was kind of the same thing as like what I was going through. So like that's why we really were able to connect and like be together for such a long time. We were literally together for 10 years. Like that's why this whole entire story is gonna be kind of long, but it's gonna make sense later down the line. So that relationship really made me at least feel comfortable within myself enough to, I don't know, feel like whole and complete. And that's not a good thing, because if like the reason why I felt whole and complete was because of a relationship, like since my family didn't feel whole and complete, I felt like that was what I was projecting. And like basically like that relationship was like kind of defining me in a way. Like I was a girlfriend, like I had a boyfriend, like I could tell all my friends at school and like just in life, like at work and stuff, I could tell them, yeah, I have a boyfriend, like talk about him, and then we would have like things to talk about with people that also had boyfriends. And I just literally like, I felt like the label, like I was a girlfriend, like that's what I was. That's basically what kind of like defined me in a way. I did feel like that, honestly, because I kept staying with this guy for years and years and years. And like, I just thought like, you know, we were like a couple, like we were gonna be together forever. We were gonna get married one day, have kids, all that stuff. Like I literally thought that that's what would happen. And, you know, now looking back, I realize like, I'm sure every girl has those kind of thoughts with like their first boyfriend. Like everyone does feel that way and can relate in that level, because it's just like, you just feel like someone cares about you, someone wants you, someone loves you. So like you're good enough, like you're enough of a person, even though you're enough of a person by yourself, single, without a relationship at all. But it took me such a long time to actually realize and discover all this. But you know, besides all this, like when I said before that I would like struggle with depression and stuff, the depression like kind of would come and go, but the OCD was like something that I really, really, really struggled with, like insanely. Once I started moving out and got on my own, like I kind of had it my whole life as a kid. Like I would make all my toys like perfectly organized, and my room was always like perfectly clean, and like in a way that was a good thing. Like of course my parents loved that, because I would always keep the house clean and tidy, like straighten things up. Like it just got to a point where when I moved out and got my first apartment on my own, that's when the OCD like really kicked off into a whole different level. Like mentally I was probably feeling out of control with just like other struggles. Like first of all, being an adult, trying to figure out who you are, living by yourself for the first time, just because I honestly, yes, I liked the neighborhood better, but I did want to move closer to that boyfriend. Like, as I said, yeah, I was kind of letting that relationship define my life and stuff, and like I wanted to be closer to him. So I moved to that neighborhood to be closer to like he lived with his family, and like I just wanted to be closer to them, like, you know, because I just kind of, I guess in a way, was kind of a little bit disconnecting from my own family at that point, a little bit. So maybe like it just made me feel complete as like being part of a family and like being wanted and all that stuff, which is completely, it was all in my head. Like I know now looking back that it was all in my head. I could have been perfectly happy and fine if I chose another path in life, but that's the path at that time that I chose, and I can't judge myself for that. That's just the wavelength that I was on back then, which is fine. Like I accept that. So I was really struggling with that. So like because of that, my OCD got really bad. Like I wasn't able to leave my apartment unless everything was perfectly clean, or else I would be at work and I would be having these like thoughts, like recurring thoughts, like, oh my God, I forgot to clean the counter. Oh, I forgot to do the cat litter. Oh, I didn't vacuum today. Like really dumb little things. Like honestly, it's crazy, but when you actually have OCD, you understand, like those are not dumb little things. Those are really serious things. Not vacuuming that day, that freaks you out. Like that makes you want to come home and like hurry up and quickly vacuum because you have to do it every single day. Or you have to like, you know, it was like extreme organization and cleanliness to the point where it actually controlled my mind. I would literally just like, I would feel like kind of like a slave to like that feeling. Like I had to keep things clean in a certain way. It was basically like a mental coping mechanism or something like that to like help me feel like I had some kind of control in my life. Like that's basically what it was. I did kind of feel like things were a little bit out of my control in a way, even though at that point I was also starting to get into spirituality, the law of attraction, and like how your thoughts can create things and you can manifest things. Of course I was starting to like go through all that and learn all that stuff, but I was so new at it that like I still would allow the lower vibrations and the lower thoughts to still control my mind, and like I would still be scared. I had a lot of fear, and like fear is the #1 thing that drives OCD, depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. It's fear. Like fear is the underlying cause of all of that stuff. Like it's at the bottom of why you're feeling all those ways in your life. I would just kind of like let all those fears control me, and I was thinking so much of my external, like the fact that I was a girlfriend, the fact that I had a boyfriend, the fact that, well, we could like do stuff together, and the fact that I had my own apartment and I could keep it all clean and I was able to like manage all these things. Like it just kind of like made me feel in control. Like I felt like I was organized and I was dealing with my life and all that stuff. Like that's what I felt. But really I wasn't, because if I was allowing those OCD thoughts and habits to completely control me, like I know that it was not healthy physically or mentally at all. So my whole life before this, I also struggled because I was really skinny when I was a kid. I used to get made fun of all the time for being too skinny. Like people would literally say the rudest comments to me when I was in school growing up. Like I definitely got bullied, not just because being skinny, like I just, you know, people get bullied in general. I would feel so terrible about myself. Like honestly, I would feel like completely no self-confidence and no self-esteem because of that. It really was out of my control. Like no matter how much I ate or whatever, or exercised or anything, I would still stay skinny at that point. And I just couldn't gain weight, and also like it would just make me feel low self-confidence about myself. So I would always feel like I would have to like hide myself or hide who I really was, hide my body, just like. So that's why I guess also the relationship did give me confidence at that time, because I was feeling like, okay, well if this guy cares about me and thinks that I'm pretty and like thinks that I'm beautiful or whatever, and doesn't think that it's like bad, the fact that I'm skinny and all this stuff, like okay, like maybe I'm okay. Like that's just what I thought. But of course a guy can't make you feel a certain way. It's you yourself and the way you're perceiving yourself. So I know if this is like getting off on a tangent, I'm sorry, but I'm just getting all this out. So like, yeah, like the OCD definitely controlled me to like bad points where like sometimes I wasn't able to leave my house, or I would like set really unrealistic expectations for myself of what I had to get done in a day, even though I like physically could not do all that stuff, but I would just want to so bad. So it was just like the OCD was terrible. Then the whole like low self-esteem thing, like it was all okay until, you know, we stayed in the relationship, we were together. Then, like, you know, there was a time point where we were, I don't want to get into like too many personal details, but like, okay, it was the first time in my life that I had got cheated on. And like getting cheated on is like a whole different experience and feeling that you literally can't describe unless you're in that situation. And it was really hard and like really devastating because I felt like this guy was like the one for me, or like we were meant to be together. When he cheated on me, I again, with the low self-confidence and the anxiety, you know, instead of being empowered, yes, I did break up with him for a time period, but instead of being empowered and like moving on after that and like seeing through the lies and like realizing that things are not going to get better, things are just going to get worse before they can get better, I didn't see that at that time. I just was like, you know what, I'm going to try to believe him, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to still stay with him. Yeah, like it was a mistake. Like I would feel like if I wasn't with him and wasn't a girlfriend and have to start over with another person, I would feel like that's just too much work, and I wasn't willing to go through all that work. I didn't want to start over with a new guy because I felt like that was just like, you know, getting to know someone all over again. When I made the mistake of kind of like staying with him, and basically like in a way it was like an ultimatum. Like I wanted to move to a new city because I was like unhappy in the city that I was at, so I felt like if we moved together, then, you know, I would take him back and we could maybe start like a brand new life together, and like things would be amazing and perfect and great. So, you know, end up, you know, like fast forward, you know, after like getting cheated on, dealing with all those emotions, feeling heartbroken and sad and lonely and all those things, but then, you know, accepting his apologies, getting back together, and like, you know, also making that agreement with him that we were gonna move together to a new place and like for the first time live together. But I was like, okay, like maybe if we live together, things will be different. You know, like we'll have our own place. We won't have to like rely on like parents and stuff like that. So it would just be different and better, and like we can mature and like still be a couple and still be together. So yeah, we did that and we moved together. That was like probably 2.5 years ago. So we still stayed together. So like, yeah, we had been together for like 8 years, and then now like, you know, it was up until like the 9 and 10 year period where like, you know, that's a really long-term relationship. And at that point in someone's relationship, things should be getting way better, way better. Like you should literally be like progressing as a person with that person if it was a healthy relationship. But it was not. It was definitely a toxic relationship completely. It was like very codependent. Like we even worked like for the same company for a certain time period. I started like kind of branching out and stuff and just like kind of figuring out who I was as a person. I guess he was doing the same thing, but also the same exact events and patterns were, you know, repeating themselves. You know, the same kind of thing from the past where he cheated on me and would lie about it, make up excuses, make me feel like I was the victim, and that, I mean, not the victim necessarily, but like I was the reason why he was cheating. Like that's where my low self-confidence spiked like 10 million times, because I literally felt like if I, like, first of all, I was thinking like I would compare myself to these other girls obsessively, like why does he like them but he doesn't seem that way with me? Why does he feel the need to like cheat on me and be with other girls? Like, am I not enough? Like, am I not good enough? Is there something wrong with the way I look? Is there something wrong with the way I am as a person? And I would just not be able to think about anything else and just wonder, like, you know, why is this happening? Like, it was just really bad. And that was like my old self. And I'm really, really happy that I'm not like that anymore. But I'll get into that part in a sec. So he didn't care what I thought. If he was gonna go hang out with his friends, and if they were girls, and if the girls liked him and he liked them, and he would text them stuff, you know, and see them and hang out all the time, he didn't care what I thought. Like, he didn't care if it made me feel uncomfortable, which it obviously did. Of course it did. Why would it not? It made me feel really uncomfortable. Like, nobody likes the feeling of like knowing that you could potentially be cheated on at this moment with a guy that you were with for almost 10 years. No one would want that feeling. No one deserves that feeling. But I had such low self-confidence that I couldn't stand up for myself and just break it up, because like, why would you allow yourself, it actually was my fault. Why would I allow myself to get cheated on more than one time? That was my own choice and decision to stay with this guy. I would feel like I would just want to make it work. That was completely my fault. I should have stopped all that like from day one. Like when the first sign of those kind of things started happening, I should have ended it. But you know what? That was the past, and that's not what I did. And that's why this whole entire video is explaining how all of my decisions leading up to my whole entire life up until this moment right now, where things are feeling way different. That's why like all this stuff happened, because I wasn't taking my life and the control of my life and basically taking the power into my own hands. I did not feel truly and deeply empowered. I might have felt positive and always lived a positive, happy life, which is true, I still do. But the reason why I had all these mental addictions like OCD, like the obsessive need to like clean things and have everything organized, and like feeling the low self-confidence and feeling like I wasn't good enough, or just not feeling beautiful and not loving myself at all, feeling like I would need to gain that love and those compliments from another person or other people, like outside sources, never finding it within myself. I never was able to like kind of introspect myself and look into myself and actually realize like who I was as a person. I never got to that level at that point. But then after, it would keep happening. It was crazy how many times it would happen. Like we would get over a situation, the girl would leave, or the girl would stop talking to him for some reason, move, whatever the case may be. He would like, you know, get over that girl and then come back to me. And I was always there just waiting to like take him back. Why? Why was I doing that? I don't know. That was just who I was at that time. It's not who I am anymore. But I would just feel like I would, first of all, I would never allow a guy to treat me like that anymore. It kind of makes me like really getting emotional, the fact that I went through so much and I endured so much stuff and so much pain. And like, that's just, I know this like video is kind of about relationships, but I've never talked about this, so it's feeling really positive for me to talk about this. Basically, we get in huge fights and things were just definitely really toxic, and then I would just, I don't know, I was kind of like, in a way, waiting around for him to change. Never realizing that the person that I was really waiting on to change all along was myself. Okay, this is just getting really emotional. Like waiting around for another person to change when that person was never gonna change. They were never gonna, a person who can look at you in the eyes and lie to you is never gonna not be a liar. They're gonna be a liar forever, and that's their own choice. If they want to have their whole entire life relationship with you or others based on lies and things that aren't true, that's their own personal choice, and there's nothing you could do to change anything about them. You being a good and genuine and positive person isn't gonna make them change. So I just, yeah, again, I would keep waiting around, like just not really bettering or improving myself at all. Just continuing to let the anxiety and the fear completely control me. And like, I would have such severe panic attacks. And I do relate that, I'm not trying to relate that like to the relationship, but it was, I know that it was, because I would feel all these crazy emotions and feelings and like just feel so tied down to all of them. And then like just in my whole life in general, again, I would just question like, why am I even here? Why am I alive? What's the point? What's the purpose of this? Even though I, again, would have like positivity, like always, like on my Instagram and stuff, my pictures were always so positive. My quotes were always so positive. They still are, because that's still a reflection of like how I feel inside of me. It's always been like that. Like there's always been that positive spark of light and love and happiness and peace and joy and all those good emotions inside of me. It's always been there. But all of the dark emotions were also there too. And all the anxiety, like crazy thoughts would go through my head. I would just start crying uncontrollably, releasing so many emotions and just like crying and just being like, why? Like, can't things change? Like instead of like wanting respect from other people, I was not respecting myself, because that's not self-love and self-respect. When you are allowing another person to control the way that you feel, that's not loving yourself. That's living your life for other people, and that's not an okay way to live your life. You should absolutely 100% live your life for you. And I never was truly 100% able to embrace that up until this point where all these things were happening. So, you know what? I don't know how this all happened. Like, it just started happening like little by little, slowly. I don't know. I guess I was just changing mentally. Eventually, it got to the point where I realized, I had some kind of realization that this was never going to change. Relationship would never progress to any other level. Like, we would never actually be together or end up together, ever. We never would. And it was so devastating and so hard for me to, like, because I was holding on so tight to that, like, that letting that go was just, like, super hard, because I just had to, like, hold on so tightly to it. And again, it was also because of those mental things that were going through my mind. Feeling like, okay, if I wasn't with him, nobody would ever want me again or something. Like, nobody would ever want to be my boyfriend. Like, just so dumb and so not true at all. But, you know, when you're in that moment and you're feeling really low and you're not feeling confident, that's what happens, you know? It's human nature to have those kind of thoughts and feelings. So everyone I know struggles with these kind of things. That's why I just wanted to, like, talk to you guys about it, because I feel like you guys wouldn't judge me and you guys would probably relate and understand how I feel. So then it got to the point, it literally started maybe like 9 months ago. So this is so recent for me. That's why, like, but then again, it took me 9 months to make this video. Like, that's still a long time to get to this point that I'm in today, which is the most empowered I've ever felt in my whole entire life. Like, insanely, amazingly, creatively inspired, artistic, powerful, abundant. I just feel like things are completely shifting. I found out, again, I don't know why I'm laughing, but it's actually funny. It's actually, this is just really funny. So it happened again. Again, he got caught in the lies, caught in the cheating and all the stuff. And then, you know what? I realized, like, why am I waiting around for this person to come home? Why am I waiting around to make plans with him? Why am I waiting around for my life to start or begin? Why? Like, why am I doing this? He doesn't care. He's living his life to the fullest and doing whatever he chooses and what he feels right in his life. Why am I not doing the same thing? Why do I need this person and this attachment and this relationship or bond to define me as a person? I'm more than this. I didn't need to feel like that I wasn't complete, that I wasn't whole. So I struggled with all these types of thoughts. But then it just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Actually, I don't even care anymore. Why would I, like, be wasting all this time when I could be spending all this time on myself and changing myself little by little every single day, like one step at a time? I finally realized that, and I needed to accept that and move on. And I finally did, because I realized, like, someone wouldn't disrespect you that amount of times if they actually cared about you. They would not do that. Like, your actual person who's, like, the one for you, the guy who really does care about you, would never hurt you that many times. They wouldn't even hurt you any times at all. And if they did, it wouldn't be like that, and you wouldn't have to, like, have those types of thoughts. So we completely broke up officially, 100%. He just got, right after that, he got a relationship with another girl, of course. Oh, obviously, because he was talking to that girl while we were still together. That's just how things were between us. And I would never accept this again. And I realized, like, why does feeling like or being in a relationship have to define me? I'm not single. I'm actually whole. Like, that's what I would start telling myself by listening to, like, all these, like, little love and dating YouTube channels and stuff, and, like, people talking about their experiences with all this stuff. It was just something that, like, was new to me. It was a completely new concept and new topic for me to be thinking about. And I was like, I'm completely whole as a person, exactly who I'm meant to be. And I am actually good enough and worth it and powerful enough to achieve amazing things on my own. And just, like, I didn't need another person to, like, validate me anymore. I was actually, for the first time my whole entire life, able to validate myself and realize, no, I'm not going to accept this kind of treatment ever again. Never again. I would never allow someone to do this to me ever again. All of a sudden, my creativity just sparked so much. I just felt really motivated, just wanting to accomplish things and just feeling like my life was completely gonna change. Like, I know things are gonna be different. So I started looking at myself and went through a lot of emotions. And I still did get anxiety attacks and panic attacks and stuff like that. And I was still like feeling really skinny too. So I realized like I needed to start focusing on my physical health because that was gonna help my mental health completely. So I started eating more and working out and like actually having a fitness routine and a fitness plan and goals and like things like that. And I literally started feeling so good just being in the present moment, being with my body, like doing yoga, doing workouts and fitness, eating healthy, like listening to myself and always following my intuition. So like whenever I felt like doing something or doing a workout or doing anything specifically, I would just go for it and do it right then and there. And so like there was times where I would also like want to go on dates with myself to like see how that feels, like go to the movies by yourself. I know people talk about that all the time. You don't understand until you actually do it. I only did it one time and it was so freaking empowering. I just felt amazing. I was like, this is so fun. Like I'm literally watching a movie that I chose. I chose the time. I was like the one who thought of it, and I just like, it was just super last minute. I just went with an impulse and did it. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, this is the best thing ever. Being single is not bad anymore. But then one day I remember like going to a theme park by myself, which I would do that here and there. And then like looking at other couples and like kind of feeling sad, like feeling like, oh wow, like I don't have that. And feeling such a lack in my life of like, I don't have love or a relationship or whatever. Like, you know, I would definitely go through times where I would come back home and just cry or like cry the whole entire car ride home or something like that and just feel all those feelings. But then like one day, I don't know how, but after, I think what really started helping me was also like, you know, working out, healthy diets and all that stuff. But then starting to like really meditate and like really journal my feelings. Yeah, instead of just like crying and feeling all this pain and stuff, I would actually start journaling and writing down my feelings and being really conscious and really aware of them and just realizing like, you know what, I was actually, for the first time, instead of trying to like suppress my feelings and emotions by like wanting to clean my house or like do it, like, you know, doing something to distract my mind, to like get my mind off of those feelings, I sat there and I felt those feelings. And that is the best way to get over a breakup ever. You have to allow yourself time to be happy, time to hang out with friends, time to hang out with family, time to hang out with, you know, people at work and do creative things, but also you need time to sit there and cry. You literally do. You have to sit there and like be alone with your thoughts and with your feelings and realize that it's okay to get those out. It's so healthy and it's so empowering to just get those feelings out. You need to release them out of your body. So like writing them down, and then I would do meditations and then I would just cry. Even if I cried for like an hour, it was the most cleansing and therapeutic feeling ever. It would happen like in little waves. Like I'd be really happy and then like something would kind of like trigger me in a way, like, or a bad date. Because then I was like kind of by like going on dating apps and like going on dates with other guys, which is really positive if you want to do that. Like it really helps you get over, gosh, other guys are like such a good way to get over breakups. I don't know why this video is turning into like how to get over breakups, but anyways, yeah, it's like going on dates really helps. So, you know, like that kind of validation or something from other guys did kind of give me confidence, like, you know, in a positive way, obviously, but also just like maybe something like would kind of like set me off and, you know, like just feel like I'm just wasting my time with these people. They're just like fillers. It's just nothing. Like there's no connection between us or anything like that. But it's still really eye-opening. So yeah, like, I don't know, something anyways would just kind of like trigger those emotions, whatever it possibly was. There's a lot of reasons and a lot of things. This was like 9 months ago though. So yeah, I would just like, for a good solid month or two, just, yeah, do all those positive things I was telling you, but also allow myself to have those times where I would just cry and feel sad. And it was just so cleansing and felt so good to me to be able to do that and allow myself to do that. For the first time, validate my own emotions and realize that they're real. You start changing in ways that don't even make sense to your mind in that moment. Like, I can remember how I felt feeling anxiety, but I don't get that anymore. I don't get panic attacks anymore. I don't get anxiety attacks anymore. I don't have OCD anymore. I literally don't. Like, I still keep my house clean to a point and organized just because, for health reasons. Like, I have cats and I have to keep things clean for them and for myself, of course, but I don't feel that obsessive need to like have things be perfect. Of course, you know, I'm not perfect. I'm still on like the path to all this stuff, but I'm just saying, like, all the anxiety and fear that I felt before, or all the obsessive thinking about like, what if like this guy is like talking to another girl or whatever, I wouldn't have those obsessive thoughts anymore because I didn't have any reason to. I didn't have anything holding me back anymore. The only thing holding me back was actually myself and my own thoughts, my own mental dialogue with myself. Like, feeling all the terrible and bad feelings, feeling like worthless and like low self-esteem and ugly and not good enough and all those things, feeling all those things, but then like feeling that light at the end of it, like after that dark tunnel, feeling the light and feeling the hope, feeling the inspiration and feeling like I could actually believe in myself and I could make a difference in my life and I could change my life. It is possible. Everything is possible. And just little by little glimpses of that kind of feeling would start coming into my reality after getting all the bad emotions out. All of a sudden I would feel really good emotions, like feel like, oh my gosh, I made it so far. I went through so much to get to this point. I'm so grateful for everything that's happened to me. I'm so grateful for that breakup. That finally came to the point where I actually one day told him that. And at that point, I just felt like I completely released it. I was like, you know what? I'm so grateful for the fact that our relationship didn't work out. And thank you so much for releasing me and letting me go and like making me realize that I could actually start finding myself and discovering who I really was as a person. Instead of feeling like just a label and feeling like I was just defined by being this or that. Just finally realizing that I could actually define myself as whatever I want to, because it was my life and it was my reality and I was the actual creator of my reality. I finally, for the first time, like really felt grateful for that belief that I've had all along for all these years. I've always known that, but finally now I'm like grateful because now I felt completely free enough to do that, to just like live my life purpose, have passion, have inspiration, and know that things are getting better every single day, every little step of the way. Like, magical and amazing things would just start happening to me. It was insane. Like, the amount of synchronicities that happened to me and continue happening to me, that was just the most like mind-blowing thing ever. After seeing the actual results of feeling free and loving yourself, it's just so empowering. Like, I finally realized that I actually could be in a relationship with myself. I still don't consider myself like single because I still, I don't feel that lack anymore. I feel like my actual true like soulmate or connection or whoever person that I'm like meant to meet or be with or whatever is out there, and he's looking for me too. And I feel so much like hope and inspiration, like, you know, I will find that person one day, but until then, I don't need a relationship at all, except for the one with myself. That's the number one most important one that you could ever be in a relationship with, is yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're only gonna have yourself in certain times, and you need to be able to rely on yourself, trust yourself, ask yourself permission to do something. And if you don't feel comfortable doing something, feeling empowered enough to say no to that situation or that person or anything. Like, you're your actual boss. You're in control of your life. You're in control of your reality. You're the one that creates it, and you're the one who lives it. So if you can't love yourself, first of all, how would another person ever love you? That's just not possible. You have to be able to be in a relationship and be your own girlfriend or your own boyfriend. Go on dates with yourself and treat yourself. And like, if you feel like you want to do something and you have like an impulse to do something positive or fun or just anything at all, like just to go somewhere or experience something, just go do it. Make plans with your family, make plans with your friends, do stuff that makes you happy and that you feel passionate about, because that's what like YouTube for me is, and like photography, videography, like that's what makes me so passionate and so happy. Making this channel, it gives me like such happiness. It seriously does. Like, number one passion in life is photography and videography, and sharing content, creating content, and sharing it with all you guys, making it, and like getting feedback from you guys. It's just nature, and then being able to like share nature and travel and all those fun things with you guys just makes it even better, because like I'm doing it, I'm like having fun in that moment, but then I'm also able to like have like a platform like YouTube where I can like record videos and make content and share it with people. It's just like it's so fulfilling to me. Like, it's definitely like a good path to go on, because it's just so positive and so inspirational, and YouTube has really helped me a lot with people who make positive videos, people who make meditation videos. Wow, that has really helped change my life, because like I would do a meditation every single night before bed, and I still do. So like for all these months I meditate right before bed, so my subconscious mind basically is like in the frequency of whatever meditation that I'm doing at that moment. So I go to bed with a completely clear mind. Like, I go to bed with all this love, all this self-love, all this gratitude, go to bed with all those positive feelings. So then when I absorb those, when I wake up in the morning the next day, I just feel so ready to go for the next day, do all my creative pursuits that I could possibly do. I'm just such a creator and like artistic person that like art is just so healing and so powerful for me. And everyone has something different that they're good at, and for me it's just not even about being good at it, it's just about like, it just makes me so insanely happy. So so yeah, you should always do things that make you happy, and definitely meditating and feeling like you can release your emotions, and you could actually, it was safe for me to feel those emotions and to get them out. It was so safe for me to do that. I just felt like I could finally allow myself and trust myself enough to really be myself. And I felt so much more confident just like knowing that I was my own person. I didn't need another person to do anything for me at all. And so like, I don't need a guy, but if I wanted a guy, and if that person was like worthy of the level of respect and trust and everything like that I now set my standards at, like it used to be down to here, now my standards are like up to here. And if there's a guy who could come up to that level and, you know, make me feel, you know, good feelings, I guess, then that's great. But I don't need that. Maybe I want that, maybe everyone would want that, but I don't actually need that to be happy. I am happy within myself. Like, I can fulfill every single thing about my life with myself, because it is my life and it's my choices, and I don't have to like allow myself to feel uncomfortable in a situation anymore. I really don't. And it's just so freeing. Also, you don't ever have to answer to anyone. You don't have to like tell someone where you're going every 5 minutes and like tell someone your daily plans. Like, you just make up your own day. You create your own day. You make your own schedule, and you are able to just live for yourself. And wow, that's so cool to be able to do that. I just love everything about doing that. I finally feel self-confident, and like because of all the self-confidence, I actually have gained weight for the first time in my life. Like, I don't feel like I'm too skinny anymore. I don't feel like low self-esteem about my body, feel like I'm too skinny and feel like I need to hide that and stuff. I literally can just be myself now, and I don't care what other people think. If they don't like me, good, too bad. Like, that's fine, that's completely fine, and not everyone's gonna like you, but honestly, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because if you like yourself and you love yourself, nothing that anyone else thinks about you matters. And if people think good things about you, that's cool. But if people don't, who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you anymore once you get to that level. And I'm just to the point where I don't need approval and validation from other people. I just feel like beautiful and self-confident and self-love in myself. And yes, so I was able to like finally gain weight and like really start a real fitness plan where like I really do work out, and like that has helped me gain weight a lot. So like because of all these feelings, like my self-confidence is just so much better now and in such a better place, and it's still working there like little by little every day. Like, I'm getting better every day and feeling more secure and stuff within myself. But I just feel like now I'm like to the point where like things are definitely on the right track. I'm not going backtracking into like the past and what has held me back before, like now I just feel limitless. I just feel like nothing can hold me back at all. Nothing. Like I just feel so free and empowered. I know I already said that, but now like I just love myself so much that I come first in my life, and if I want to do something or don't want to do something, that's exactly what I do. I follow my intuition. I know myself. I have a really positive inner dialogue with myself now. I'm always telling myself things to build myself up instead of negative things to like tear myself down. Like that doesn't even happen to me anymore. This changed my whole entire life and my whole entire outlook on life. And that's why I don't feel anxiety anymore at all. Like I just live with so much more ease. And it's just the most beautiful way to live and the best feeling ever. So I know this video is super long, and if you guys have stayed to the end of this, please comment down below. Please like let me know how you're feeling and like things you've gone through in your life. And if you want to subscribe, like the video, all that stuff, it would mean so much to me. Like seriously, you guys mean a lot to me. I really do love doing YouTube videos so much. It's like such a passion. I've already said this, but it literally just like makes my whole day sometimes. All the time, actually. So yeah, so if you guys have made it this far, please comment down below and please tell me any thoughts that you have or any other suggestions of like other videos you want to hear like this. Because instead of like only making like really happy travel diaries and like fun stuff like that, I also like making these kind of videos because it's real and it's authentic, and that's the whole point of YouTube, is being authentic, being yourself, being like your true self, and not being afraid of like what people think about you, not being afraid of like expressing your emotions and like bad things that have happened to you, because everyone's gone through stuff. Everyone, I know that, and everyone has gone through good stuff. So like if you can just find a way to get past the bad stuff and mostly have good stuff happen to your life and live on a different level, it's the most beautiful feeling ever. And the last thing I want to say is a really inspirational, empowering message that believing in yourself is the most important thing you could ever do. And when you're trying to manifest something, see and picture and feel that you already have it, and just feel in that wavelength of it. Like just know, like just for an example of like the whole boyfriend thing, I already feel like I have a boyfriend and a soulmate and a great person who's gonna be with me one day. I already feel like I have that. Maybe I haven't like met him physically yet, but I know that that person definitely exists on this planet, and I know that one day amazing things will happen for me. I just know that. I feel that, and I feel in the wavelength that I already have that. So instead of feeling the lack, like, oh, single, don't have a boyfriend, blah, 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 I don't feel that lack anymore. I feel the wholeness and the completeness that I am worth that. I have infinite abundance and infinite happiness and good potential that's just waiting for me, and amazing things are gonna happen for all of us. Not just myself. Like I don't want this whole video to be about me, but then again, like I've never actually shared these kind of things. It's possible for you guys to feel exactly how I'm feeling right now in this moment. Just believe in yourself, know that you can change your life, and that everything in your life has happened for a reason up until this point, and you might not know what the reason is. I still don't even know what the reason is, but I just feel like every single day I'm getting one step closer to figuring out like who I really am, knowing myself, trusting myself, believing in myself completely, fully, and just like moving towards a better existence in life and finding like my true life's purpose and stuff. I feel like I'm closer to that like every second and every single day that passes. I just feel more in touch with myself, more aware of my inner thoughts, and I just still feel so much love for everyone. I love all of you guys so much. I really do feel that like we really do have like one love on this whole planet. All of us are connected. All of us are, no matter what country you're in, no matter what part of the world you're in, we're all connected, and we all go through the same struggles, but like all of us can feel empowered and change our lives, and it is possible, completely possible, to do anything and get to any level as long as you believe that it will happen. Feel that it already is happening, that it's on that way. Feeling that excitement and stuff. Just you're getting closer and closer. And if you're watching this video right now, amazing things are coming your way, and you're just gonna step into like a new awareness and a new consciousness, and things are gonna go so great for you. Just don't be afraid to, you know, accept your past and acknowledge your past, and then feel gratitude for your present moment and how far you've come, and like realize that you're not there anymore at that point. And you don't need to be. Now you're at a new place, and it's way better than what used to be for you. Everything is getting so much better. And I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I feel so good right now that I've been wanting to make this video for so long, and then now the fact that I just listened to my inner voice and just made it. And I don't care if it's like personal, and if people watch it and like don't agree with me or like it, I really don't care. Honestly, made this video for myself and for all the people who I could possibly help and impact in a positive way. All of you guys, I love you guys so much. Seriously, anyone who watched this video, I have so much love for you, and just love yourself, because amazing things are coming for you. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.